Okay, here we go. So Friday the 11th of February 2021, who can believe it? Okay. So now heels together. Bring your left arm palm up, right arm palm down. And we bow from the waist, with our eyes lowered, trust and friendship. And gently take your hands away, keep that nice and calm as well. Stepping into hip width. Just settle into the feet, relax the knees. Bring the tummy in very gently. Empty your arms. Think grounded, rooted, and very gently, without any effort, starting to turn. Connecting to, I'll come a bit closer so we can hear better. We're connecting to the floor, we're connecting to stillness. Emptiness, so the feet are working, legs are working, your hips are nice and steady. And the top part is loose, effortless. Just gently side to side, easing everything. And as we go through this part, I'm just going to give out some bits of information about spring, about its Chinese medicine sort of connections. The organs that are part of or associated with spring are the liver and the gallbladder. We are very much still in winter, but we are moving towards spring. So some of the spring tendencies are starting to feed through to us, but we have to remain grounded, rooted, and not get excitable by the rising coming in spring energy, because that will burn out our energy, which is still very depleted at this time. So we'll talk more about that, what it means in the movements in a moment. So this time of year that we're in right now is probably, I'm going to make a sort of guess, about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So spring is associated with morning, but it's much later. It's, you know, maybe 6, 7 o'clock, depending on the time of year. But we're not there yet. If this year was a day, we would still be snuggled in bed at this time of the year. So we have to remember that and keep looking after our energy, sleeping, resting well, feeding the body as best we can when the body is in its lowest, most depleted. This is the end of winter. We are at our lowest and most depleted. So we have to feed the body as much as possible, not burn up any unnecessary energy at all. Keep the body as strong as possible. So then the body is ready when the spring energy comes through. It's able to house that and to hold that energy and then allow us to feel all the wonderful spring energy when it comes. If we act on the spring energy now and we're depleted, we're just going to make ourselves quite ill and we'll burn out. So it's really important. So we'll very slowly unwind to a stop. let that really settle. And either just have a little shake or just be still. Just let whatever's happened settle through your body, giving it time. And just to enjoy the sensation. Okay, so spring. As my phone is not on silent. Okay, so not for very long because I've just got us all nicely loosened, and then I shall do some physical. But this is an opportunity for you to ask some questions and things as well. What I might do is just change find the music, and I might just stop that for a moment. Okay, right. So like with all of the organs, all of the seasons, everything is interconnected. So spring is the wood element, and it follows winter, and the element after this is summer, which is fire. And it's that transition in from being dormant in the winter where we are now, the little spring-like type feelings of buds starting to come through now, into in the full flourish where everything grows and then reaches its maximum in the summer. So we are in that transition from winter to where everything reaches its maximum. And in everything we do, whether it's physical or in our plans, just the way we react to things, if we ground and root, so we've always got this lovely stillness as our base where we come from, and then only allow our energy, our drive to be a natural, steady progress, then we will manage the energy coming through. It will feed us and it will keep us naturally healthy without any kind of burnout or exhaustion or overexcitability, which most of you know I'm very prone to. And if we think of a plant, and the plants are an amazing example to us. If we think of a plant, the plants, you know, they start now, some of them are starting to just stick their tips out, but what they're not trying to do is get to be bloom, not now. So any thoughts or projects that we have in our lives now, any ideas that are starting to flood in as winter comes out and spring is coming, that spring energy is coming underneath us to lift us, to help us to expand, to have free thinking, to be creative, and no restrictions on ourselves. But if we allow that energy to just have free reign, it'll be like a fire and it'll just burn. Whereas actually what we want is to use that and house that energy so it feeds us and supports us and helps us to achieve what we need to achieve. So we have to think like a plant. A plant doesn't stick its head through the ground and suddenly want to be in full flower. It has to go through the natural progress. It grows at the rate that it grows. And that is important in our everyday life and what we're doing. So rather than try to make things get faster or where they want to be, just be where you are and allow it to unfold and to develop and to just move everything at its own pace and just be with it. And if we do that, then our energy will be in harmony with what's going on. And then we'll also see the twists and turns that are there for us, rather than us try to get somewhere and we miss where we're supposed to be and we burn out. So that's the sort of energy in our attitude and behavior and plans. And it's the same when we're doing our movements, which we're going to have a little play with in a minute. So the movements, we're not trying to get to the top. So things like separating the clouds, it's not about getting to the top and getting to the bottom again. It's about the journey all the way up and then the journey all the way back down again. So we never have to think about a destination. It's always the journey, never the destination. And that's the same with everything we do, including the movements. So that's important. And And yeah, so we'll just have a little play with that. Does anybody want to ask anything right now? Okay, Jenny, let me just undo you. Or you have to unmute yourself, Jenny.
Can you remind us, so if spring is wood, summer is fire, what are the other seasons?
Okay, so at the moment where we are now is winter, which is water.
Yeah.
After fire is earth, which is sort of late summer. It's a season that isn't really here in Western terms. And then autumn is metal.
Interesting, thank you.
And as we go through the seasons this year, I'll be covering all the seasons, but as we go. Okay, right, so I'll just mute you, Jenny. Oh, have you already done it? Far too quick for me. Right, so what does all this mean for our movement and our health? And that's really what this comes from. So it's always about thinking about us, say, being in winter to start, and it's always about this grounding and rooting. So if we take, for instance, we're going to take rowing a boat. We're going to take rowing a boat, my very Geordie accent, which I hear coming out when I do these kind of things. So, and we're going to play with rowing the boat with some of the other bits, because the other thing about this season is it's the liver and the gallbladder. Okay, so they are important to be part of this season. Winter is the kidneys and the bladder. If we want to support the liver and gallbladder, which as spring comes in, are the organs which are most vulnerable, then we have to really take care of ourselves now. So when we move into spring, our bodies can support those organs. If we're depleted now, then when we move into spring, the liver and gallbladder won't have enough substantial energy in them to support what they bring us. Okay. So in movement, that means be rooted and grounded first. And if we do rowing a boat, just getting into our natural place. So the feet are connecting to the floor, the knees are soft, tummy gently pulled in, head lifted up, and the arms open. And remember, the fingers are pointing outwards, because if we're about opening the channels, the thumb wants to be in its, for those who know about the tile hand, don't worry if you don't, but for this, it's here, it's open. All of the channels are open. This movement isn't like this, and it's not waiting to do anything. The hands need to be just softly open, and the fingertips pointing out to the sides. We have the arms and shoulders soft. And like with all of the movements, it's about connecting to the stillness, the stability, the feet deep into the floor, the body solid over the feet, the arms empty, and the breath as we breathe. We just want to think about the breath to start with, just going gently into the belly, just standing, pausing, breathing. And just connecting to your breath. And just feeling the breath gently come into the belly. And as we practice this part of this movement, as you start to breathe into the belly, we're connecting the whole body. So as the breath softens and deepens, because the whole body is connected, your arms should start to gently float outwards with the in-breath and back down with the out-breath. Just see if you can connect your arms to your breath. But putting no extra effort. And this is the key, what I've been talking about just being grounded, steady, calm, allowing everything to happen in its own time, in its own pace. And we feel that lovely expansion and contraction. And I know this is only the first part of this movement, but we're exploring what the energy means, how it actually relates directly into the movements. So this is this natural spring energy. And as long as we're just breathing and allowing it to happen, then we're connecting to this wonderful expansion. But it's not taking any extra effort. And already I can see for some of you that your arms are opening wider and longer, but it's just a natural progression. So if this part is the key element really as far as the spring energy is concerned, it's the rising, expanding, growth and development part, then we root, which is the water, the steadiness. We breathe and just expand and allow that to just yield and just feel the breath and feel the body. Let the body follow the breath and then just let it go again. We'll add the second bit on in a minute, but it's just now we're going to let the body yield with it. So we're just pointing the fingertips to the side as we're letting the breath come into the belly, just letting the body expand with it. And just feel that lovely expansion. And this is the aim of the movement. It's just that being still and breathing and expanding. And then releasing. So if we are, and I have done this part just in my introduction, just to as an exploring the first part of this movement. And then what I'm going to do next is just add it in. And then just left it and done the second part of the movement or the third part of the movement another time, because actually this is enough to think about, especially with the whole spring thing. So that lovely in-breath there, once you reach not to the full expanse, if you try and go that extra bit and put too much in, that's when you're going to start to deplete your energy instead of regenerate your energy. So we get to it where it feels effortless. And then in this instance, I'm just going to breathe normally. And with effortlessness, it takes more effort to say that, just let my arms roll round and then just let them softly float down. Because I'm not going to worry about the second part of the movement, because today my focus is the first part. So I'm going to open the arms, find stillness, empty the shoulders, feel grounded and rooted, and then just breathe. My normal, natural breath. And then breathing normally, keeping the emptiness, the length of the arms, nice long arms, and then letting everything soften all the way down to the bottom and empty at the bottom. Turning the palms, pausing, waiting, allowing the breath to create the movement. Softly round. So from a physical point of view, I'll just do it on me. Across here, of course, is the liver and the stomach and the spleen, all is across this area, across the here in the middle. So it's, you know, I've got all the heating on and umpteen layers. It's still cold today. So what we're looking at is this part here. And you may remember on your course when we talked about the breath, just bring him down to here. Oh, his intestines have fallen out, never mind. So we know the lungs are here, and the aim is really to allow the diaphragm to drop and the lungs to fill, and therefore massage this area and this huge liver, which is massive in relation to the body, which tucks under the diaphragm there. I mean, it's massive. So as we breathe into the lungs, the diaphragm does this, and we give space for the diaphragm to do this, and that in turn just gently pushes down on the liver and the gallbladder, which is tucked underneath it, and then of course the spleen and the stomach. So we're gently massaging these organs, and that's partly why we learn about posture and structure. So when we are tucked here and the bottom's just tucked under, so we're housed here and we're rooted from the hips downwards, and we're strong through the hips, that holds this in place. And also what happens is when we gently hold these muscles and this in place, the ab muscles here, they attach to the front of the rib cage. So when we sit correctly here, we can breathe in and allow the breath to drop down, the breath to fill the lungs, the diaphragm to drop, massage these organs, but it keeps the rib cage down. When we don't have this engaged and we breathe in, there's a tendency for us to do this, and it lifts the rib cage, and therefore we don't massage the organs, we just bend the back and hurt the back. So by sitting into the hips and holding the structure here, and we breathe in, you can feel yourself being rooted, the breath comes down into the belly, and then we get that lovely dropping of the diaphragm, which gently massages down through here and down through all the organs in here. But again, we don't want to be over forcing anything, especially around the stomach and all that acid and stuff, and the gallbladder has to be very gentle. It's a very gentle soothing of the organs. So does anybody have any questions so far? Anything you want to ask? Okay. Okay. So in theory, most of the 18 movements have all got the similar kind of context. We just move in different directions. So it's always about just placing the body, being still and calm, and then allowing the breath to make things happen. So I'm going to walk through the set now with a bit of it won't be just like, oh, well, let's just switch off and deliver, though you can take that, you'll be able to do that. But I'm going to just break it down a little bit like I've just done there. So I'm going to be like, we're just going to stand, come to this side, pause and wait, bring the arm, and then just breathe. And then we're going to come all the way back to the middle. And I'm going to sort of guide you through the structures. Take it if you want to. Ignore me completely if you want to and do your own thing. It's your session. But I'm going to just gently take you through all the movements, but with this kind of thought behind all of the movements. So take from it what you want, enjoy what you want, okay? And next month, we'll just go a little bit, we'll look at the organs a little bit more, because there are other bits that are attached that we do, like the eyes, and we'll look at all of that next time. We'll be more into spring then. So this is just allowing everything to happen with the breath and allow the expansion and the yielding all on its own. Very happy? Okay, does anybody need to ask anything? Does anybody want to, before I do it, put the music back on? No? Rianne? Rianne, yes.
Just to share this book, because this book gives you the healing foods for the different organs of the body. So it's very much linked to the Qigong. It'll tell you what foods are good for the gallbladder, what foods are good for, you know, different parts of the body. So just with you talking about that, Debbie, it was just reminding me to, it's another way of looking after those parts of the body in different seasons. So
yeah, lovely. So Davrik Leggett.
Davrik Leggett, yeah. Just wanted to share that.
That's brilliant. I have a book called Chinese Food Cures, but it's quite complex. It's very complicated. So any other books I'd like very much. So thank you,
Yeah,
Rianne.
this is very easy.
That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you. I'll just jot that down on my thing. Right, lovely. Okay, thank you, Rianne. And I'll change the spotlight back to me. Okay. I'm having a bit of a thing here with technology. Okay, let's put some music back on. Lovely. So just settle into your hip width. I'm going to come closer so you can see my hands and hear me better. You don't need to see my feet. So while you're settling into your hip width, just turn the backs of hands to face the front. Think about your feet connecting you to the floor. Let your arms hang, shoulders empty. Connect to feeling still. Just breathe. Just let the breath gently sink down into the belly. Just feel how the body responds to that breath. The body very softly expands with the in-breath, contracts with the out-breath. Some of you may feel your arms wanting to move already, so just let that happen. Let it all happen organically, naturally. As we move from standing, breathing, into moving the energy. Allowing everything the time and space to happen in a way that's right for you right now, this moment. In your breath, your pace. We'll do 2 more of these. When you feel ready, let the breath continue, spiral the arms, feel the breath, allow it to happen naturally. We gently spiral. The out breath allows everything to and everything feeling effortless. Just say, welcome Rose, we're just going through the set now, so just join in. Do 2 more of these. Returning back to stillness, to connect to the floor. With our next movement starts the same when we start to really work in this way now. So we just let the arms float forward as they have done. We gently spiral them, and then we allow them to lengthen and point the fingertips towards the sky, holding our energy ball. And as we take the weight to one side, just allow one arm to open. And when we get there, we relax and just allow everything to expand and lengthen. And then slowly coming back into the center. Just soft arms, then allowing them to lengthen. And then coming back into the middle. The tendons are connected to the liver and gallbladder, the spring, the wood element. We are tight, comfortable, everything will feel tight. We relax, the body responds. The more we relax, the less we try, the more we let go. Give the body time to yield. The body will respond. We'll do 1 more to each side. Giving everything time. That will be expansion and contraction. Parting the clouds, turning back to stillness, empty the arms at the bottom. Turn the palms so they face slightly inwards, and then we just breathe, just as we did earlier. The arms softly lengthen, parting the clouds. Turning back to stillness. Emptiness. Breathing your breath. Moving in any way that feels comfortable. Empty at the bottom. Gentle spiral. Just breathing softly and calmly into the belly. No extra effort. We'll do 2 more of these. taking your time. Again, returning to emptiness. We're going to spiral each arm. As we breathe in, today we're just going to let the breath let it happen. I'm going to keep this arm still. Breath will carry the other one. Let the breath return it back. No effort. Breathing in, allowing the breath to carry the arm out. Turning the palm gently, letting the breath carry the arm back. We feel this lovely expansion through the body. No extra effort. Normal breath. Letting the body and the breath connect. We'll do one more of these to each side. Lowering down. Movement we practiced. Just pause and be empty. Find the stillness. Just breathe into the belly. Allow the body to follow the breath. And then just breathe normally. As we roll the arms softly around. Turning the palms. Pause. Find the stillness. Let the breath make the movement happen. Do two more things. Then settling back into hip width, palms flex gently to the floor. I'm going to move towards my plants. I'm going to spiral the arm effortlessly, and then there I'm going to breathe in. Just allow the breath to yield, expand the body, and gently let the breath bring me back to the middle. I'm going to breathe normally as I move to the side and float the arm. Then I'm going to breathe in and just let the breath do the work. It's breaking the movement down. So I move spiral, just putting the body into a nice, comfortable position. If you can add the breath for the whole part. So as we move, start breathing in and do so. Don't force it. Use the breath. Do one more of these to each side. the same kind of principle or breaking down, gathering the lunar harvest, gazing at the moon. I take the weight just off over and just let everything settle down through my centre. I now gently breathe in and let my arms lengthen. Breathe out to come back to the middle. I'm going to breathe normally as I move and settle the body, relax my shoulders. Then I'm going to breathe in. You can add the whole breath all the way in if you wish. The out breath back to the centre. We usually breathe in from here. You want to just make it settle and then breathe in. Get this feeling of all this wonderful expansion, elongation of the arms. Breath down into the belly. Creating this wonderful opening through the liver, the spleen, all those internal organs. One more of these to go. Settling back into stillness. Bringing one palm into the centre line, flexing the other. As we breathe out, just feel a wave going through the body. As we turn the other hand, let the in-breath carry that arm out. And all we do is slightly draw it round. And we breathe out. Turn to the palm, breathe in, just feel the arm opening and raising, breath. Using the breath to create the arm movement. The out breath, settle. Do one more piece on each side. After you breathe out, use the in-breath, just turn the upper hand in, the other hand slightly palm down, and very gently turn through the waves. Breathing in as we change the hands, breathing out as we turn through the waves. And moving with stillness. Feet, body rooted, strong. One more of these to each side. Just gripping the feet. We start on the back leg and just let the arms in front of us, just let them lengthen. Nice and long. Breathing in, feeling the breath come into the belly and the arms lengthen. Breathe out, just let the arms spiral. And then as we breathe in, draw the body back. Palm, fingertips forward. Breath slowly into the belly. Do 2 more of these. Always take your time, moving at your pace. All of this movement from your effort, restoring the body, not depleting it. And stretching legs, drawing the arms up, softly rolling through, pushing the waves. How little effort can you put in? The arms are carried softly from the feet. And we'll do 2 more of them. Now use whichever leg feels comfortable. We're just going to do this on one leg because of time today. Again, we're going to start at the back. Just gather in, relax your arms, take a lovely breath right down into the belly. As we breathe out, just move gently through the legs and the arms softly open without any effort. As you breathe in, just draw the breath down into the belly, feel your arms circling round the lovely energy we're collecting. Just feel that retaining energy. That's what we need. Drawing that energy in towards the body. The arms are long and comfortable. Drawing this energy into the lower dantian. Your arms are usually round about waist height. Sometimes they're lower, not really high. Do 2 more. Loose Tai Chi fists. Just gently spiral, sitting into the hips. Just allow the arm to lengthen. Feeling that lovely lengthening without knuckling or any effort. Breathe in, just spiral again, the arm to the back. Just giving it time, a gentle spiral, sitting into the hips, allowing the arm to lengthen. Twist through the shoulders, allow all the tendons to feel. Softly, calmly, one more to each side. Lowering the arms, palms facing the thighs. Again, returning back to stillness, the breath just moving into the belly. Allowing that soft expansion of the belly. Create the movements because the arms are gently, softly connected. Giving the arms time to lengthen, yield. Do two. Turning back to stillness, spiral the arms slightly and breathe. I'm going to my left, I'm going to go to your left. And just letting my arms lengthen. Do one more in this direction. Let the breath carry them. Change direction whenever you feel ready. And moving into our leopard stance, bouncing forward. Again, just let the arm lengthen. It's all about opening the body steadily, calmly. Giving it time. Do one more to each. Settling again back into hip grip. Fingertips toward each other. And just breathe into the belly. Just let that happen. At the end of your in-breath, slightly tilt the palms. Just let everything sink. The out breath. 2 more of these. This last movement, let the chi sink as normal, but then we bring it into the lower dantian, placing our hands there to help seal it in. And either side by side or one on top of the other, whichever feels right for you. Either close your eyes or have soft, relaxed eyes. And let everything settle. Very, very gently release your arms. Our heels together. Our left arm palm up. Right arm palm down. And then come out with. Slowly releasing the arms, steadily taking your feet back out to hip width balance. I'd like to say thank you very much. I know the session itself was short. We had quite a lot to cover in the theory side. Music down. I'm going to pause the recording in a second. And next time we'll continue on with this. This session was really all about remaining grounded and rooted coming out of winter, so connecting to that water element, moving very softly and gently into spring, starting to feel what it's like for spring to start to rise very, very gently. And then next time, the month 14th, it'll be the 11th of March, we'll be much more into spring, and we'll be able to talk more about the organs, the eyes, and there's so much to cover, and it's just bringing it in gently. So thank you very much. I'll pause the recording.